I still remember the exact moment everything changed, though at the time, it felt like just another ordinary evening. The sky was painted in soft shades of orange and fading blue, and the air carried that quiet calm that only comes right before night settles in. I wasn't expecting anything unusual, nothing that could possibly shift the direction of my life in a way I would never forget. She was standing there, not too far away, looking like she belonged to a different world entirely. There was something about her presence, quiet, yet impossible to ignore. I had seen her before, a few times in passing, but we had never really spoken. Still, somehow, it always felt like there was an unspoken connection waiting to be discovered. That evening, something felt different. Maybe it was the way she looked at me, or maybe it was just the silence between us that seemed heavier than usual. I tried to ignore it, convincing myself it was nothing more than my imagination playing tricks on me. But deep down, I knew something was about to happen. We ended up walking together, though neither of us clearly suggested it. It just happened. Our steps matched without effort, and the quiet between us didn't feel awkward. Instead, it felt meaningful, like words would only ruin whatever was building in that moment. I could hear my own heartbeat louder than anything else. It was strange, almost unsettling, how aware I had suddenly become of everything: her footsteps, the soft breeze, even the way her hand brushed slightly against mine for a brief second. That small touch sent a shock through me, one I couldn't explain. I wanted to say something, anything, just to break the tension. But every word I thought of felt too small, too meaningless compared to what I was feeling. So I stayed silent, hoping somehow she understood what I couldn't say. She stopped walking before I did, causing me to pause a step ahead. When I turned back, she was looking at me in a way I had never seen before. There was no hesitation in her eyes, no confusion, just certainty. In that moment, time seemed to slow down. The world around us faded into the background, leaving just the two of us standing there, caught in something neither of us had planned. I remember taking a step toward her, not even realizing I was moving. It felt like something beyond my control was pulling me closer, something stronger than logic or reason. She didn't say a word. Not a single one. And somehow, that silence spoke louder than anything she could have said. Before I could even process what was happening, she leaned in. My mind went blank, my thoughts disappearing completely as her face came closer to mine. And then it happened. She kissed me. It wasn't rushed or uncertain. It was soft, yet filled with a depth of emotion I had never experienced before. In that single moment, everything I thought I understood about life, about love, about myself, it all changed. I didn't move at first. I was frozen, caught between disbelief and something that felt dangerously close to happiness. It was as if the world had paused just for us, holding its breath. When I finally responded, it wasn't a decision. It was instinct. Something inside me knew this moment mattered, more than anything else ever had. The kiss didn't last long, but it felt endless. Like time had stretched itself just to give us a few extra seconds in that perfect, fragile moment. When she pulled away, I expected her to say something. To explain, to laugh, to apologize, anything. But she didn't. She just looked at me, her eyes searching mine as if trying to find something hidden deep inside. I wanted to ask her why. Why now? Why me? What did it mean? But the words stayed trapped in my throat. Instead, we just stood there, the silence. Returning, but this time it felt completely different. It wasn't empty anymore. It was full, of questions, of emotions, of possibilities. I realized then that something had shifted inside me. Something I couldn't undo, even if I tried. She turned away first, breaking the moment. For a second, I thought she might walk off like nothing had happened. Like it was just a passing impulse she didn't want to face. But she didn't leave. She stayed close, just a step away, as if she was waiting for me to react, to say something, to understand. I didn't plan that, she finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. I let out a small breath, not even realizing I had been holding it. Neither did I replied, though it was clear she had been the one to act. A faint smile appeared on her face, but it didn't fully reach her eyes. There was something else there, something deeper, something more complicated. That's when I understood. That kiss wasn't random. It wasn't just a moment of impulse. It meant something, maybe even more than either of us was ready to admit. We started walking again, slower this time. The space between us felt smaller, more fragile. Every step carried the weight of what had just happened. I could feel the questions building inside me, each one louder than the last. But at the same time, I was afraid of the answers. Because whatever this was, it had already changed everything. Nothing felt the same anymore. The street, the air, even the silence, it all felt different, like I had stepped into a version of reality where something important had shifted. And the strangest part, I didn't want to go back. I didn't want things to return to how they were before. Because for the first time in a long time, I felt something real. Something undeniable. We reached the end of the road before either of us noticed. It felt like we had just started walking, yet somehow, time had slipped away without permission. She looked at me again, this time with a softness that hadn't been there before. I don't know what happens next, she admitted. I nodded slowly. Me neither. And that was the truth. There was no plan, no clear direction, just a moment that had changed everything, leaving us standing on the edge of something unknown. But maybe that's what made it special. Not knowing, not having control, just feeling. As she finally walked away, I stood there watching her disappear into the distance, my mind still trying to catch up with my heart. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt it again, the warmth, the closeness, the quiet intensity of that moment. It replayed over and over, like a memory refusing to fade. And with every replay, I understood something new. That kiss wasn't just a moment. It was a beginning, a turning point, a line between who I was before, and who I was becoming. Days passed, but nothing felt normal anymore. Everything reminded me of her. The places we walked, the silence we shared, the way she looked at me before it happened. I found myself waiting, hoping I would see her again. And when I finally did, everything came rushing back. The tension, the connection, the unspoken words. But this time, things were different. Because now, we both knew. Whatever this was, it wasn't going away. And maybe, just maybe, that one kiss was only the start of something far bigger than either of us had ever imagined.